And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and rock cod Rick Mexa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Let's Talk Hookup. As we heard, Pete's on his way to ICAST to go check out all the new cool stuff that's be coming out. But boy, do we have a fun show today. It's the boys from Dana Wharf Sportfishing. Don Hansen, Brian Woolley. We're talking all kinds of great fishing going on. We're talking Dana Wharf, tackle, gear, the whole nine. We're having a lot of fun, and we would love to have you join us here in the second hour. Let's Talk Hookup. If you want to get through, 2 ways you can be a part of the fun this morning. First is with our local line, which again is 858 area code 457-1090, or you can reach us toll free. That toll free number, 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. Not only talking fishing, talking fisheries, we've also got a really cool couple of prizes. 2 big winners at the end of the show today. Again, 2 lucky winners, first of which is going to win a pair of half-day passes to go fishing at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing and get in all that great bass fishing that we were talking about earlier. And for that matter, who knows, maybe you might go out and catch yourself a bluefin on a half-day trip.
Yeah, who knows?
Pretty cool. In addition to that, 2 3/4-day passes for another lucky winner. So again, if you want to get your shot at those great trips, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. Phones are absolutely packed. I know everybody's excited to talk to the boys, and we're going to do just that. Jump right back into the phones and talk to Mike, who's calling us from Rosemead this morning. Mike, good morning. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Boy, am I mad as hell. I didn't get my Western Outdoor News delivered to me this week, so missed out on all the action.
Postman must have it.
I know. He must be a good fisherman.
That's right.
I got a bait-related question, but I have a friend who has his boat docked there in Dana Harbor there, and we're going to be going out next week, and we're going to be doing the usual, trolling the Rapalas and having some deep irons and shallow surface irons, and the downside is he doesn't have a bait tank. So can we get a hold of some, like maybe some fresh, dead deems at the bait receiver or buy some packaged stuff, you know?
Yeah, a lot of guys, that I've seen at the receivers in the mornings while we're getting our live bait, will definitely, they'll get their live bait, but then they'll get some and they'll put it in a bucket, and they'll chunk that bait, or they'll go out and they'll jiggle up a bunch of mackerel and chunk that stuff. I've seen a lot of guys, in the drift. Some of this fishing hasn't just been, sit on a spot and get it to come up on the chum. It's been plunker type bite. So certainly that chunk sardine would definitely help your game. So yeah, you can, you could go buy your frozen anchovies, or you can buy your scoop of bait from the receiver and chunk that stuff up, or catch it yourself. But I would definitely take something like that with you for sure.
Yeah, we could buy that bait inside the office there.
Yeah, the office sells frozen anchovies and frozen mackerel. Yep, you can buy that out of the office.
Is it important to always have something to throw on a stop, a fish like that? I mean, if it's a scenario like Mike's in right now and he gets his jig strike and they're going to try and catch him on flat falls and Colt snipers, I mean, is it important to throw something to keep the fish around, or could you just slide the jigs back the same? I mean,
yes and no. My approach, I would want something.
Yeah.
I'd want to chunk something to keep it that I know, hey, I'm putting something in the water that I know that these fish are going to eat,
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen plenty of guys on their skiffs with no bait tanks that'll, set up upswell of the fish and cast into it with the jig, and they've had just as good a success. So, either way, I would take the bait if it was me, though, for
That's
sure.
Awesome.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Hey, Mike, appreciate the phone call very much. What kind of bait is Mike going to be expecting? How's the bait scenario been in Dana Point for you guys? What's the bait been like?
It's been fantastic. I mean, our bait guys work their tails off, and we certainly appreciate all that. And we've had great sardine.
Awesome.
There's been times where we haven't been able to take what we want to take, right? But we have never had a trip where we've run out of bait, and it's all been good quality sardine. Stuff that they say doesn't exist, right? The little 4 to 6 inch sardine, right, Mr. Hansen, and then on up to some of the bigger stuff. the 6-7 inch baits. So it's all been fantastic sardine.
What hook size should a guy prepare to bring if he's going to go out fishing with you right now and try and catch a local tuna? How should he gear up?
Hook size anywhere from like a 2.0 to a 5.0. Some guys fishing mackerel, that want to fish for a bigger fish. And then line wise, everyone's fishing braid. It seems like nowadays, your 50 to 60 pound braid with anywhere from a 25 to a 50 pound shot of fluorocarbon or monofilament, however you want to, make it work. But seems to probably be the good range for that tuna fish.
So cool that it fishes that close to home. Awesome. Hey, let's jump right back into it. Paul in Santee, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Paul.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's everybody?
Hey, good morning.
Great.
So I got a couple questions. The first question is, I definitely know about using circle hook for fishing for bluefin, but, does it make sense to keep a circle hook on all the time, even if you're mostly getting yellowfin, yellowtail? And then the second question has to do with, I've got a few reels that I've got for like jig sticks, and they have 100-yard top shots. It's kind of mono on it. Does it make sense to tie on a small piece of fluorocarbon leader if we get into tuna?
Well, I can speak to you about the hook size, or the circle hook. That's what I fish. I'll fish circle hook just about every single time when we're offshore. I mean, a lot of guys, just aren't fans of it, but it's hard to beat on these fish, especially with the teeth. Yeah, definitely. I recommend it to all of our passengers. I have hooks on the boat that we'll give to our passengers to use or to have and whatnot, but certainly. I would 100% recommend a circle hook.
I think that's another one of those things. As long as you're proficient at putting your bait on with a circle hook, that would be the only thing.
Right.
As long as you can get that wired, which is certainly not a difficult thing, it just again goes into one of those things that there's almost no disadvantage to it.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. It can be a little tricky to with the way the point of the hook is to get the bait on there, but once you get it, it's for sure.
And then as far as adding fluorocarbon to your jig, Paul. I just don't, I know we talked about earlier where there's almost no disadvantage. Well, there's, I would say, less of a reason to add fluorocarbon to your jig rod. Maybe you could build a case for anything. I mean, sure, on a small bait like a flat fall or a mega bait, sometimes those things eat it down and they're chewing on the line. But I think in most scenarios, if a fish is fired up enough to eat a lure, the less visible line part probably isn't going to help a ton. And, that fish, the lure is usually outside the fish's mouth, or certainly where you tie your knot is. So I would say it's a lot less important to put fluorocarbon on anything that you're fishing with lure. Would you say?
Well, and he said on the end of his mono, too. It's another connection that you don't need, It's the minimal connection is certainly the way better advantage,
that's
too.
That's a good point. I would say on a live bait, for sure, Paul, but on the jig rod, just save your fluoro for the next one.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Hey, appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, let's talk to another guy that knows a thing or two about catching some local fish. That's your saltwater guide. Guy that knows this guy sitting next to us pretty darn good. And that's our man with our fishdope.com report. Dave Hansen is on the line today. This catch report sponsored in part by Gamakatsu Hooks, Japan's leading fish hook that sets the standard for quality and innovation, strength and durability. It's the summer season, and the Gamakatsu Nautilus Circle Hook is the ring hook that sets the standard. Their J hooks are top class for anglers fishing for tuna and other pelagic summer species. It's the right design and the right durability to help you catch your fish of a lifetime. Also, check out that Gamakatsu Super Nautilus hook if you're fishing that big bluefin. All the hooks are right for our West Coast style of fishing, and Dave, you better be on your best behavior. We got the boss man in the studio this morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Dave.
Morning, David.
How we doing, Dave?
Hey, I am doing phenomenal. You won't even believe it. I'm up here in Lake Tahoe right now, fly fishing brown trout with my two boys. It's my oldest son's birthday, so we're up here just having fun this week.
Awesome, Dave. Right on.
But I haven't missed what's going on down there either. I was out there all week trying to make money to come up and about on my boys, so I kind of have a clue what's going on down there. Guys, the fishing this week has just been short of the most phenomenal stuff I've ever seen. The private boat fishing is just incredible. The sport boat fishing is incredible. It's back to what we've been saying all year, guys. You can just throw a dart anywhere. It doesn't seem to matter. They have phenomenal fishing. This barracuda that's been non-existent for the last few years, it showed up there on the Horseshoe on 50 this week. Some sport boats out there that had some unbelievable scores on that bigger barracuda. which hasn't been around. I know everyone's talking tuna, but that barracuda is a blast to have on the iron, and they're not bad to eat. Then you go over to Catalina, excellent calico bass fishing over there. No one's even fishing for them, but if you want, the calico bass fishing phenomenal. Jimmy Decker and I had a couple of awesome days over there last week. Then you go over to Clemente. That yellowtail showed up back over there with a vengeance. It's all over the backside of the island. Phenomenal yellowtail fishing. So you got great yellowtail fishing there. Then we'll move over to the beach. Guys, if you're outside of cell range, you went too far. Bluefin, yellowfin, yellowtail. If you can't make a phone call, you might want to move back inside a little bit. It's unbelievable what's going on right now.
That's so crazy.
It's incredible, Rick. My dad, Brian, can tell you I can't even imagine how, with this new fish they're all talking about down below, when that stuff finds our bait that's up here, because Brian has probably been talking about it. There's anchovies, this pinhead anchovies all over, and this fish is on all over the beach here. It's a small anchovy, and the show is incredible.
That's pretty amazing to see.
That's my report for this week.
How's the fishing up there, David? Has Zach got a fish or two?
Zach thinks this is the lamest thing he's ever seen. We're catching a fish the size of bait.
Yeah, well, that's good, because...
Are you kidding me, Dad? We just hiked all the way up here. We had bigger sardines in our bait tank yesterday.
Okay, well, happy birthday to your son, and I hope the other son is having a good time, too. And that's a great report from Tahoe. I think everybody up in Tahoe is going to probably run you out of town. But
well, that's all right, because there's plenty of fish for you to catch when you get back down the hill.
Yeah, well, I'm into this trout fishing. Me and my other son, Sean, we tied flies last night, and we're actually catching trout on our flies. And Sean loves it, and I love it. So it's good. It's a zen to get away from the madness down there. The zero etiquette down there.
Good call. Well, Dave, certainly some great fishing going on, and that's the beauty of those fishdope.com reports, is you can be in Tahoe and still keep up with what's going on every day, because guys like yourself report what they find, and great source for information. And if you don't have Fish Dope, you hear Dave talk about it every week. I mean, that's the source. That's where the best information is at. And for a very inexpensive fee, you can find out what's going on in your backyard and up and down the beach. And if you want to save $20 on a new membership, just type in the code Hookup Now. Hookup Now. It's all lowercase with no spaces, and you'll save $20 on a new membership to fishdope.com. And Dave, we say it all the time. You're on it every week, and if a guy wants to have you come fishing on your boat, how do we do that?
Yeah, that's the unique thing about what I do, guys, is I take that sport boat mentality I grew up with, and I teach you how we do it on the sport boats, but I do it on your private boat. I don't have a boat. I take you on your boat, and I teach you how to use electronics. Where to, how to, what to. Give me a call at 949-374-0786 or look me up on the web at yoursaltwaterguide.com, and I'll talk to you all next Sunday.
Have a good time.
Great job, Dave. Appreciate that. Great report, as always. And when do we get to have you come up on our boat and take us fishing in Lake Tahoe?
Hey, anytime you want. You just pay for the ride up here, and I'll be more than happy to show you that.
Great job, Dave. Appreciate it. Great report. We'll talk to you next week.
Be good, David.
All right, guys. See you. Bye, Dad.
All right. Thanks a lot for that. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information just like Dave. The phones are absolutely packed, and a big block of your phone calls is next. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Doing business with the right company always pays off, and Jobsite Supply is that kind of company, selling commercial contractor supplies since 1987. Jobsite Supply specializes in the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing trades with lines like Louisville Ladders. Come see the full line of Louisville Ladders at Jobsite Supply. Plus, they have the exclusive logo lock system in-house, which allows them to take your company name and logo and embed it permanently into the fiberglass to deter theft and keep track of your ladders. Check JobsiteSupplyCo.com for more details.
It's time to get excited about fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627.
Good morning, it's Whitney from Mammoth Lakes, California. Come on up, the water's fine, is what the Eastern Sierra is touting. And in Mammoth Lakes, it's much more than just the water. This summer, our 4 lakes will be stocked with almost 16,000 pounds of healthy fighting trout. From fishing and biking to hiking and horseback riding, there's a legendary story waiting for adventurers of all ages in Mammoth Lakes. Start planning your next adventure at visitmammoth.com. That's visitmammoth.com.
If you are ready to experience a real Alaska fishing adventure, check out Whalers Cove Lodge in Angoon, Alaska. The calm waters around Whalers Cove are 100 miles from any large towns, so you will enjoy a wilderness adventure without any crowds. Whalers Cove Lodge has some of the best salt and freshwater fishing in Alaska, and there is no need for a bumpy boat ride for hours. You can find productive fishing for salmon, halibut, and rockfish just 10 minutes from the lodge. Whalers Cove also offers fantastic freshwater fishing in wilderness streams for wild salmon and trout. The Whalers Cove experience will fulfill your wildest Alaska dreams on the calm water of the Inside Passage or on a spectacular stream. It's your choice every day at the Whalers Cove Lodge. After fishing, you will dine on fabulous meals created daily by the Whalers Cove chefs and relax in your comfortable room or cabin. Learn more about this exciting Alaska destination on their website at whalerscovelodge.com or call 800-423-3123. Whalers Cove Lodge, a real Alaskan fishing adventure.
My Angler H2O. I will never use that fakey fluorescent pink bait or drag my hula popper through the mud. I will outmaneuver drought-exposed stumps, rocks, and submerged station wagons. And outsmart the ravenous river otter. I will save water by taking shorter showers for higher lakes. And I will always, always wear my life jacket.
What's your H2O? Tell us at BoatCalifornia.com. The California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways reminds you to wear it, California.
Meet the Innovation Award-winning Yamaha V6 Offshore 4-strokes at 300, 250, and 225 horsepower. These Predators are up to 73 pounds lighter than the competition. And with class-leading 4.2-liter displacements, they're up to 19% faster and up to 17% more fuel efficient at cruise RPM than comparable 4-strokes. And now they're available with Helmmaster, Yamaha's fully integrated boat control system. Meet the next generation of Yamaha V6 Offshore 4-strokes today at your local Yamaha dealer. Helmmaster available with V6s purchased only as part of new boat packages from Boat Builder Partners.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Hey, let's go live right now to the American Angler. Captain Brian Kiyahara is on the line right now. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
We're doing great. Good morning.
Morning, Brian.
Actually, good morning, Mr. Hansen. Actually, I'm in my backyard working on lobster. I'm the American Angler. Anyhow, I just wanted to point out, Rick, I've been part of the SAC, fishing board. I'm a representative for Point Loma Sport Fishing here for the last couple of years. And the one standout thing that I've noticed by going to these meetings the last couple of years are the unsung heroes like Don Hansen. These guys are out there fighting for all of our rights, whether they be sport boat owners, fishermen that go on boats, tackle companies all around, Southern California, all across the country pretty much. And like guys like Don, they don't ask for anything, but yet behind the scenes, every time we untie our stern lines and go fishing, it's because of guys like Don Hansen, Ken at SAC, all this. And I just wanted to point that out to all the listeners out there that it's because of these guys fighting for our rights behind the scene is what enables us to enjoy, fishing in Southern California.
Thank you, Brian, very much for those comments. I really appreciate it. And for anybody who's listening, with you coming on the board of SAC really helps SAC too with your knowledge. You really have a knowledge, so thank you.
You bring up such a good point, Brian, because we get excited and we hear a big score on the 3/4-day boat, and all we can think about is fishing and how much we dig it. And I know, you're a family guy, and I know you love to take your son fishing, and we all get wrapped up into that. But it's easy for us to forget that there are people that literally just would rather us not get to go fish or put regulations on it. And guys, obviously like yourself and Mr. Hansen sitting right next to me and everybody, I mean, they're working so hard that we always get to go do that. And, we get so wrapped up into how exciting and fun it is that we forget that there's guys that are working their butts off for very little gain from it. Just to get our back, and I think that's such good words, and I share your same sentiments, man. I sure appreciate everybody that's doing everything they are for us.
And it's so quick for us to call Ken at SAC and ask why, when, how, and pretty much voice our complaints. But very rarely do those guys get kudos for just the amount of their own personal time that they dedicate for, all of our personal gains. All of us love the ocean and love to utilize it. So it's just something, the unsung hero. And I appreciate everything you do, Mr. Hansen. And obviously you too, Rock. You're great for the whole industry as well. So keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Well, Brian, we sure appreciate that. What's going on the Angler? Are the boys having a good trip?
Oh, Sam's on a 5-day trip, and, this whole kelp patty thing, down there just above Cedrus, I think there's some good kelps to be had for that good great yellowtail. It seems like as long as I could remember, there's this 2 to 3 week period that it happens in July where all the yellows move off the beach or something and get on these kelps and spawn, but it's kind of an annual pilgrimage, and there's like a 2 to 3 week period where, as a fleet, we get to enjoy this good, great yellowtail fishing on kelps, and as fast as it starts, it's going to stop. We're going to hit these same big, beautiful kelps, licking our chops, and they're going to be dry.
Now, Frank was talking about that a little bit yesterday. The grade of yellowtail in this kelp isn't what you would think of when you think traditional kelp patty yellowtail. There's some real nice ones to be had.
Oh, they're just beauties. 15 to 30 pounds, and like I said, for as long as I could remember, Rick, we have this little 2 to 3 week period where that's the grade of yellowtail that we catch. And some of these balls of fish that are on these kelps are impressive. You pull up on them, you think it's a school of bluefin or a school of yellowfin or something. You look over the side and you're just hanging straight good grade yellows. So hopefully it sticks around and gives the opportunity for the fleet to have some quality to catch.
That's awesome, Brian. Well, real quick, I know you guys have a very busy season, but are there going to be any opportunities to come fishing with you and Sam and all the boys on the Angler? Captain Ray?
I'm sure there is, but this isn't about us, Rick.
I know.
It's about Don and them. But, yeah, if everyone calls Lori or gets online, AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com, I'm sure there's spaces here and there for us to accommodate you guys.
Well, Brian, we sure appreciate it, and I couldn't agree with you more. Thanks for pointing it out. I know there's a lot of listeners that share the same thoughts, and very great point you bring up, Brian. I sure appreciate the phone call.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Rick. Take care.
All right, appreciate that. Hey, let's jump back into the jam-packed phones. Everybody wants to talk to Don, talk to Brian. Let's do just that and start it off with Doug calling us from Montebello this morning. Doug, thanks for hanging in there with us this morning.
Yeah, I'm going to change my question here. How do we word this? How do the environmental wackos and PETA and all these other outfits get into such big, higher powers than us within the sport fishing guys?
Good question. You'll see pictures of from the NGOs that were taken 30, 40 years ago when drift gill nets were allowed in California. They're still using those pictures, and that's how they sell memberships. That's how they get people to join them. Somebody had a question on how long ago those pictures were taken. The ocean has changed. Those nets are no longer in the water in California, so they should change their way. That's how they get their power.
And kind of like what we were saying too. We are involved in our resource, and we go fishing and we do all those things. And I mean that's how we get together. And those guys are the opposite. They get together in trying to stop those things. We're great at using our resource, but we're not the best. And Brian said it best. We're a major group of people who all care so much for the resource, but the thought of most fishermen, and it just shows, is the next guy is going to do it, or we'll talk about it, but there's no way they're going to shut us down, because that will never happen. And those groups are very well organized. Hey, appreciate the phone call, Doug, very much. Thanks a lot for that. How about we jump back into them and talk to Mike calling us from Laguna Niguel. Hi, Mike. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Thanks, Rick. See, a couple things. Dana Wharf's my local landing here, of course, and for people that haven't fished them, you won't find finer crews and captains any place on the coast here, and the boats are great. Dana Pride is just incredible. It's my favorite boat there, unquestionably, and beautiful, and Tommy does a great job on it. I have a question about your all-day trips and a comment about your website. Website's got a great deal of information, but there's some things lacking, like the all-day trips right now, a couple of days are showing $100 for the trip, and the rest of the days are showing $75.
Yep.
And there's no explanation of what the difference is.
Got it.
Shown on the website. And you know, if you go to like Seaforth's website, for example, they'll have little comments below each day, kind of thing, that explain stuff.
Right. I can answer that for you for sure. You know, that lower fare trip is usually that's an island trip, right? And it's open to whatever the boat capacity would be. These $100 trips that you're seeing, and there is an actual note to buyer on the website when you book through our online booking that will kind of give you a breakdown of what the trip is doing. Those are limited load trips. They're limited to 30 guys. It's an all-day offshore 5 to 5 trip. I mean, the trip's scheduled back at 5, but, you know, the trips I run, we're never back at 5. You know, we're back at 7, 7:30, whatever, you know. So you're getting a good long day and certainly your value out of that. So that, you know, that may be one, you know, little deal in the price difference for sure. It's just, you know, the boat's out there all day. It's not anchored up.
And more room to work with and a little more room with the rail.
Yeah, you got 30 guys as opposed to, you know, we hold 60, so we're not going to put 60 people on a boat.
And if you're missing anything, my daughter is listening to this broadcast right now, and Donna will be on it before the broadcast is over.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure
Yeah,
about
well,
that.
if the information's there, it's not, you know, readily apparent. And that's what I guessed. But, you know, it needs to be up there so we understand, and so it makes it a little easier, because I end up calling the landing is what happens. So, anyhow, you guys all do a great job, Don. Thank you so much for everything you do, and, you know, your comments on the gill nets are right on for those of us that are older. And I remember when I was a kid, the coast was thick with white sea bass, and gill nets came in and really got heavy in the 60s there, and they just all went away.
There you go.
But they're back. They're back now, though, Mike. They're back. Fish are back.
That's a good thing. Mike, appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, let's talk to another guy that spent some time on the coast. That's our good buddy Jimmy Decker is on the line right now. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey,
good
what's
morning,
happening,
Captain
Decker?
Hansen and Captain Woolley.
What's up, man?
I just wanted to say I can't thank Brian enough for for all the help he's given me the last couple of years down there out of when I come down to Dana. He's a wealth of knowledge and one of the best young captains on the beach there, and I just wanted to tell him thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate that, man, and certainly, you know, we appreciate all you do for us too. You know, you've helped me out immensely as well. So yeah, hey, glad to return it for sure, man.
I just got a quick question for Brian with. You know, and I'm guilty of it. With all the skips on the beach and the fish being so close, and anything that floats is out there right now. And, you know, when you ping a school of fish on the sonar and you spin on it and you know it's coming, you know, you can see 50 skiffs within a quarter of a mile of you.
Right.
He's turning.
What is the etiquette that you would like to see the private boaters when they're, you know, more or less coming to invade you?
Right.
You know, what's the distance for the average Joe that thinks they can drive right up under your bow pulpit that you would like those guys to stay away from you and the wind direction away from your boat?
Right. That's a good point there. You know, there's different schools of thought. I mean, I can give you mine. The whole key is we have the bait and we have the machinery on the boat to find the fish and to keep the fish up and with the boat, you know. If I can get the boat around on a spot and get set up on it, you know, while we're chumming and you're, you know, 100 yards, 200 yards off the boat and you're within, you know, that little zone, you're going to catch fish too. It's the guys that zip around and keep you from finishing your turn on the sonar or getting the chum on the fish that ruin it, not just for me, but for everyone. I have no problem with someone fishing alongside of us as long as they're, you know, not per se upswell where they're going to get bombed with the jig or something, or they're going to keep the fish down. It's just slow and easy. Everyone, you know, has a tendency that they get excited, you know, they want to get on the fish and they end up just pushing it away from the boat. So, you know, 100 yards is proper, you know, but I have no problem with, you know, us getting on the fish and other guys coming in and fishing right next to us.
Yeah, because I've seen that happen to you where guys have figured it out now. When they see you making a hard turn to port, they know you've got some fish over there, and they pretty much try to get right in on your circle before you can even set the boat up.
Yeah, and, you know, they don't see the settings on the machine. You know, I could be looking at a spot of fish that's 500 feet from the boat, you know what I mean? And they come in and, you know, any sport boat guy, you know, has a hard time finishing a turn for that matter on a spotted fish when you get invaded by skiffs. So, you know, there's no animosity towards skiffs for sure on my part. It's just, you know, if everyone kind of gets on the same page and works together, then that fish will come up. It's not going to just stick under the boat. You know, it's going to be up in the chum, and there's plenty for everyone to catch for sure.
And speed, minding your speed being a huge part of it.
Yeah, for sure. You don't have to be on your throttle hard to get on that fish. You know, just slow and easy for sure. You have plenty of time to get on that stuff.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Hey, Jimmy, one of the things we used to do when I ran the Sum Fund for years, they'd come up like that to us. We'd drop the anchor just under the water, so it looked like we put the anchor down, and 50 boats would drop their anchor, and we'd drive away.
Oh, my God, I would love to see that.
That's good.
Brian.
I might have to try that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy.
I'm going to drop the stuff off for the kids' trip tonight, this afternoon. Tracy and I are going to make a run down to the landing, and I'm going to give you that gear for your kids' stuff for the week, and then we're going to be over at Turks. So you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend.
What's Turks?
Yeah, what is that?
It's the spot after you get off the boat.
Okay, Jimmy.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy.
Great to hear
Appreciate
from you,
the help,
Jimmy.
man.
Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Appreciate the phone call very much. All right, let's jump right back into him. Bruce in Lemon Grove hanging in there with us. Bruce, thanks for hanging online.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I just want to give you a little report for yesterday. Wasn't the greatest day. Everybody was a little down, but saw a grip of Dorado jumping out of the water. They just wouldn't bite. But does it take them a while to get acclimated when they come in, or what is it?
Yeah, sometimes there's all kinds of stuff. You know, they're on their own bait. Could be a huge part of it. And, yeah, we see that stuff show up like that, and sometimes it just has to settle in, has to get, you know, maybe used to some water temps that aren't, you know, that mid-70s stuff, you know, and they just got to settle in. Same goes with this tuna fish. You know, we saw this stuff, you know, back in June, and it wasn't biting. We'd see it on the dolphin, and you couldn't get a single jig fish on the dolphin. You know, it's no different. The stuff just has to settle in and just get acclimated, and then it'll bite.
Is there a thing you can do to get a bite in your favor, or do you just literally have to wait until they're ready, and that's when you get to catch them?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to wait. The fish is going to eat when it's going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like, make it eat. I mean, you know that for sure. So just bide your time. And a lot of times, too, I mean, we've seen stuff. You get on a kelp, and there's Dorado everywhere, and they don't bite. Someone could have just left that kelp 30 minutes ago. You know, the kelp's been hit, and it just someone's caught on it already, and these ones just aren't going to bite. So.
And, Don, is that a pretty traditional thing throughout the years? I mean, do you typically see it first pretty good before it starts biting? I mean, that's kind of early season.
Exactly what Brian said. Yeah, you see it, but you can't catch it until it settles down. And it's like he said, it's on its own bait. They're feeding on that stuff they've been, small pinheads or whatever, and you have to wait till they get off of that. So, yeah, Brian's 100% right.
Pretty cool, Bruce, that fish is already invading the coast here, not even halfway through July, to see good scores that Dorado showing up on all our local kelps.
They weren't small either. They were decent-sized ones for the most part. So it was a good day for viewing, but not for catching.
Yeah, we've had plenty of those, yeah.
Hey, Bruce, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for letting us know what you saw out there. Have a great day. Appreciate it very much. Chuck in Long Beach, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, what's up, Chuck?
I've got two questions. Question is, I haven't been three-quarter or half-day fishing in years, and now that my son's old enough to go, I'm going to start taking him out. Kind of wondering what to expect. I mean, back in the day, we got to sign like a number at the rail, and you'd rotate like every hour and go around and just kind of what the protocol is nowadays.
Yep. Well, you know, on the half-day stuff, we still move people around the boat. You know, a lot of the kelp spots that we fish, it's hard to get the whole boat into it, you know, because, you know, sometimes it's a, you know, back half of the boat bite kind of a deal, and there's some people that end up fishing on the front half of the boat that don't have that opportunity. So we do what we can on our part to rotate people around. Sometimes the guy that's there first in line in the morning, you know, isn't stoked on that whole thing, but, you know, there's certainly a bigger picture. There's, you know, people like yourself that have kids that, you know, want to get those young ones into this whole thing. So, yeah, we move people around the boat. You know, when you're offshore fishing, there's no assigned spot. You know, everyone's kind of working the rail together. But, yeah, on those half-day stuff and three-quarter-day stuff where we're in the kelp, we do what we can to move stuff around. And sometimes it might take longer than people might like. If you've got something going, you know, you don't want to pull everyone's lines out of the water at the same time and move people around the boat. So, but we do what we can to make that happen, for sure.
And the other question I had is, I'm looking to get him some like a spinning outfit to get him started with the 3Bs and maybe occasional yellowtail. Just kind of wondering what recommendations you might have for that.
Yeah, Rick's a tackle guy. He could probably get you some good ideas on spinning gear.
I think that the beauty of spinning tackle is it is so much better than it was. You know, I mean, just growing up fishing sport boats my whole life, there was always the thought of, like, you know, well, that's the guy that doesn't know what's going on, or that's this, and it just isn't, you know, and that was partially because, you know, long ago the spinning gear just wasn't capable of handling the fishing we do, and it just isn't the case anymore, you know, especially with some of that bait runner, you know, reels that were designed for our West Coast style of live bait fishing. And if your son isn't super proficient at casting a conventional reel yet, and you know, you want him to just have some fun fishing and worry a little bit less on, you know, become a good caster next year kind of thing. Man, if you got a bait runner in that 4,000 to 8,000 sized reel and filled it up with some 50-pound Power Pro and put a little piece of 25-pound on it, he could cast it very comfortably. An equally matched 7-foot rod. I mean, you could pick up a nice bait runner and a 7-foot Talus, you know, medium or medium heavy, and have gear that's plenty appropriate for catching all of the calico bass and barracuda and bonita, but still having more than enough guts to catch a yellow or for that matter, a local tuna.
For sure. I can guarantee you on those pictures on your webpage with Pfeiffer and Kingsville, guarantee you there were spinning rods on that boat that Pfeiffer's using. You know, those guys for sure. This stuff's come so far, and it's such good tackle that it's, yeah, if it's comfortable and it works, go for it. Spend the money and make it work.
We had probably 6 or 7 spinners for rent.
Okay.
Now we have close to 200.
No kidding.
So it's the world has changed.
Yeah. You know, there's a new reel that's getting debuted at ICAST right now, Chuck, that they have that's going to be a very good one for us as far as saltwater fishing in that higher price range, but not Stella crazy price. You know, it's kind of a bridge in between Saragossa, which was a very high-end saltwater spinning reel, and Stella, something that kind of bridges that gap, and it's called the Twin Power. And it's not an inexpensive reel. It's like what you would spend for a high-end conventional reel here, you know, something in that $400 to $600 range. But, you know, you hate to say it's a Stella without the Stella cost, but it's pretty darn close. Crazy amounts of torque. Very, very smooth, good free spool. One of those reels that you start to lose the disadvantage of torque and power in a spinning reel, regardless of size fish. So we'll hear more about that as ICAST comes out, but you're just starting to see those reels get shipped and the info coming out. So certainly something to look forward to. Maybe not just for your son as a beginner, but for yourself as well.
That sounds perfect. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Chuck, appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, let's go live. We got our good buddy Jeff from Cedros on the line right now. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, good morning, Rick. Just wanted to touch on, we've got a fantastic season going here, but things are going off down there at the island as well.
Cedros Adventure is one of our favorite spots in the world to get to go fishing, and I know that you've been very busy getting everybody all lined up for their trips. And tell us what's going on at the island.
Yeah, we got some good yellowtail fishing as always. Calico bass is just fantastic despite the lack of kelp there. But some black sea bass being caught. Looking forward to some Dorado moving in here, and a little bit of yellowfin down as well. And that's about it.
Season, I know, has just kind of gotten underway, and you guys are into full swing of things. I know our first Let's Talk Hookup trip going down in just a little more than a week there, and I know the boys are getting excited. I know my dad sure is. That's for sure.
Yeah, they'll be. I'll be going down Friday, and I believe that they're on the trip right after us. So. Good things. We've got some spots available September and October. So check us out on the website. Give me a call. Be happy to get you down there.
I know you guys did a lot of work on the website. It looks great and certainly good information to be had. And beauty of these trips is how much you guys take care of everything, from picking you up on our side of the border, driving down, get you on the plane. There's somebody there every step of the way kind of explaining what's going on. And for somebody that doesn't travel to Mexico often, this is an extremely easy trip to do.
Yeah, you betcha. All right. Hey, one other thing real quick, Rick. I just wanted to congratulate Jake Nadelman, 13-year-old, who actually was an angler on that marlin yesterday. Little guy, real trooper, stood there for an hour and 49 minutes and 15 seconds pulling on that thing all the way to the swim step.
That's so cool. Well, tell us, and that was the first fish for your angling club, Jeff?
No, it's just the first one for the year.
All right.
Just the flag there, but yep, he was a trooper, so hats off to Jake.
Well, that's awesome. Tell us about it. A jig fish or a bait fish, or how did it go?
Well, ironically, it was on the 20-pound Dacron with a 4-foot, 50-pound fluoroliter and a purple and black jet head.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations, and congratulations to Jake on a great fish. I'm sure that's one he's not going to soon forget.
All right. Okay, take care, guys.
Jeff,
look forward to seeing you down at the island.
Appreciate that very much. If somebody wants to go fishing on a trip with you guys at Cedros Adventures, how do we get info?
Hit me at jeff@cedrosadventures.com. And I'll certainly get back to you.
All right, appreciate that very much, Jeff. Well, we look forward to on our trip, and can't wait to hear how it goes. You have to call us with a report when you get back.
All right, thanks for your time,
All right,
Rick.
Jeff, thanks a lot for that. Hey, let's jump back into the phones. Ed in Mira Mesa, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Ed.
Hey, guys, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I've got a question. It was kind of answered to a little, prior to this call, but going over, your three-quarter day boats, do they end up going over to Catalina and that mostly, or and also on your do you have a re-ride on your half-day boat as far as price?
Yep. As far as three-quarter day boats, they're not going to fish Catalina. That's going to be the all-day boat just because of the time it takes to get to the island. It's 36 miles there to the east end, so they're going to do that on the 5-to-5 trips. On our three-quarter day trips, we're going to be on the beach or offshore, fishing kelp patty fishing or looking for schools of tuna and whatnot. So that's kind of, how it breaks down there on the three-quarter day. And yeah, we do have a re-ride on our half day. I'm not exactly sure what the cost is, but yeah, you fish the morning half day and there's room on the afternoon half day. You go up to the office and let them know your re-ride. I think it's like $15 or $20. So that's cool. Get back on the boat again.
Yeah, because it's kind of a drive from San Diego. I hate to go up there and then not be able to get another ride.
Yep.
On the half day.
Yep, for sure. And one thing to keep in mind with the re-ride, and we've had this issue before, is, you catch your 5 fish in the morning, right? So you're calico bass fishing or something on half day. Technically you've got your 5 fish. So, keep that in mind. If you're planning on taking some fish home or something, it's a per day, bag limit. So not per trip. So, you got to keep that in mind, and, you don't want to take it to your car and come catch again and just put yourself at risk. So, yeah, just keep that kind of stuff in mind, too.
Good call. Ed, appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, let's go to Captain Art Taylor of the Searcher on the line right now. Good morning, Art.
Hey, good morning, Rick. We got 27 people here on one of our Let's Talk Hookup Shimano on the water seminars here, and we're trying to stay with a school of common dolphin, and we just picked up 4 nice size yellowfin up to 20 pounds on the troll, and we're going again to see if we can't get back on them here. Beautiful conditions, 68-degree water, blue, and we've had a couple other stops on smaller yellowfin tuna in this area. We're about 90 miles from San Diego, and just wanted to call and give you an update. And Alex from Shimano is here. He's got a ton of gear and a ton of giveaways, and we're having a good time, and we're just very privileged and grateful to be part of this program with Shimano and Let's Talk Hookup.
Art, what a great report and a great start to the morning. We heard from Captain Drew and the Pacific Queen kind of mentioning that there's certainly been some new areas and some good biting yellowfin down the beach there, and it sounds like Searcher is obviously in the middle of that already, and what a cool start to the Let's Talk Hookup on the Water seminars for the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, where Drew and the tribute were is like 50 miles from where we're at, so there's
big area.
There's potential in a lot of areas there. And one last comment there, I couldn't agree with Brian Kiyahara more that Don Hansen is the unsung hero as far as sport fishing is concerned, and looking after us and taking care of stuff, and his insight and experience and knowledge is very helpful for SAC and all of us in the industry. So thanks to Don.
Thanks, Art. Thank you very much.
That's pretty darn cool. Art, I know we're running short on time, but sounds like you're already on a great start to the trip. I know there's another Let's Talk Hookup on the Water seminar coming up soon, and scattered spots on the Searcher. If somebody wants to go fishing, what's the best way to come fishing aboard the Searcher with you?
You can book directly online at searchersportfishing.com, or you can talk to Celia or Jen in the office at 226-2403. Thank you very much.
All right, Art. Great report. Glad to hear you're getting them. Appreciate that, and we'll look forward to talking to you real soon. All right, Art. Thanks a lot for the phone call. Okay, let's try and sneak one more caller in there. Not a whole lot of time for Kenny in Hawaiian Gardens. You got a quick question for us, Kenny?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I just want to have a comment on the kids club. Took both my kids out there. They had a blast. It was just fun watching all the kids fish and stuff. And the Laguna closure, I used to fish the Boiler Rocks in Laguna a lot. What is all that closure, and is it affecting you guys at the landing there?
Yeah, that closure is kind of a bummer because, when stuff was tough down the beach from the harbor, we could always, go fish up the beach. So it's putting it's put an awful lot of pressure on the area below our harbor. We were able to split that stuff up before, and, we just simply can't fish it now. So, in that regard, it's certainly affected us. But there's still some good stuff you can fish once you get above the closure. They're up above Abalone Point. There's still some good area that you can certainly get inside there tight with the skiff and catch some good fish. Now,
the kids club, too, that Kenny was mentioning, is that the same as the half-day camp, or is kids club something separate from that?
Kids club is totally different. It's a kids club. They join, they get a T-shirt, they get a pass to come on the boat, and they just get included in different mailings and stuff like that to come fish. And then the kids camp, it's different. That's like a day camp.
That's awesome. Very cool. And again, just call Donna, call anybody at the landing
office. Call the landing
office,
and
they will, kids involved.
They'll get you set up.
One thing about Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, you guys put so much focus on making it fun for the kids, and that's just the coolest thing ever. Awesome.
We like having the kids on the boat for sure. It's a cool element to have, and we like having them on the boat.
Cool. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including finding out who's winning those half-day and three-quarter-day passes. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the mighty 1090.
The fishing season started early, so now is the time to visit the best saltwater tackle store anywhere. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. With more inventory than ever before, we know the demand is going to be huge this season. So why wait? Visit us now and get your pick of the best equipment. Hey, there are already tuna, yellowtail, and marlin in local waters. So gear up now for what could be our best season ever. Take advantage of our expert staff that knows how to outfit you the right way. Come by and see us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego or saltwatertackle.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Ranch is small, it's very personal, very intimate. I don't think there's anywhere else that you could have the old Baja feel and have all those miles of beachfront, the palapa roofs and the stone walls. There's not a room that you don't have some kind of ocean view. You don't give up any amenities at the ranch. It's just very rustic. You know how when you cook outdoors it tastes better? Well, that's Rancho Leonero. It just tastes better. We have paddle boards, we've got kayaks, we've got snorkeling equipment, of course. We've got 12 super pongas. We have dive trips. We've got over 40 kayaks at the hotel. We've got all accurate equipment, very top of the line. And when the fishing's good, we'll freeze your fish, pack it all up, send it home with you. People love it. They'll come back 5-6 times a year. That's the highest accolade we can get. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAHA. And RanchoLeonero.com. It's unique.
For East Cape fishing, Jen Wren is known as the best. This is Mark Rayer. Great service, top quality equipment, including all accurate reels, CalStar rods, and Cimarron electronics, has put my immaculately maintained twin-engine cruisers in a class of their own. For memories of a lifetime, just bring your hat and sunglasses, and we'll provide a fishing experience that will exceed your expectations. Our calendar's filling fast, so don't miss out. For packages, 2 live webcams, a weekly fishery report, and more, check out TeamJenWren.com. We pick up at all East Cape resorts, so let's go fishing.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Oh, right.
San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. All right, the big winner of the half-day trip for two half-day passes out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing going to Dan and Encinitas. And now two three-quarter-day trips going to Rich and Bradley. How crazy is it that these guys are both winning half-day and three-quarter-day trips, and they need to be very prepared for going to catch tuna out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing?
That's it. Come ready, man. Call the office to find out what you need, but for sure, come ready.
Awesome. Well, things are going so good up at Dana Wharf. So cool to see. If somebody wants to come fishing with you, Brian, Don, how do we do it? How do we come fishing? What's the deal if we want to get in on this craziness going on at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing?
Call the office for sure. The number there is 949-496-5794. And then our website has all kinds of good info. DanaWharf.com. You can check trip availability. You can book directly online. You can get your questions answered, see the fish counts, everything's right there.
Your guys' website's great. Lots of information and very easy to use. Certainly do a great job. And, Don, I got to say it the same. I mean, you heard Art, you heard Brian, and everybody sentiments the same. Boy, we sure appreciate you having our back out there, because it sure is nice knowing that there's a real fisherman that's on all these boards putting in the word that we all want. And we sure appreciate you making an unscheduled appearance, because we really like having you in here.
Thank you, Rick. It's a pleasure to be in here. Fastest 2 hours on radio.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Thank you.
One more time, guys. Give us the phone number if somebody wants to call, book a trip at Dana Wharf.
All right, 949-496-5794. We'll get you to the landing.
Awesome. Yep. Thanks, Brian. And thank you for giving us those great reports every week. We sure appreciate taking the time. We know it's not an easy thing, and we love you keeping us up to date. And, hey, we love you listening. We had a couple of great shows this week, and next week another couple of awesome shows. Going to be lots of fun. Next Saturday, Bob Dawson, who's a travel insurance expert and an avid angler, so lots of cool info there. And then Sunday, we have Captain Jimmy Kingsmill, binocular expert from Fraser Volpe Optics. Going to be a couple of great shows. You stay tuned for that, and you stay tuned right now. Bike Week Radio is next on the Mighty 1090.